Growing up, we would have seen the Skellig rocks along our coastline. And you always imagined what kind of a person it took to make a decision looking out at the edge of the world that this was the right place at the right time for them to build a monastery. Skellig 618 represents the number of steps from the base of Skellig Moor up to the monastery high up on the rock. These steps symbolise the character and the resilience and belief and determination of the monks who looked out, saw that rock in the Atlantic and decided it was the right place for them. Cahersiveen town is a small town at the edge of the Atlantic with mountains surrounding it on three sides, and it's where I grew up. We decided to set up a distillery in Cahersiveen on the Skellig coast because there was just so many obvious advantages to doing so. The weather and the landscape here in this location will really influence our spirits. The weather is very varied. We have wild Atlantic storms, we have beautiful summer days, but it's very mild, and that means that we have growth all year round. So in terms of options for foraging, in terms of ingredients, we have wonderful, rich landscape and hinterland, fabulous opportunities there in our rich hedgerows and our forests. Plenty of Atlantic rain rolling in and getting filtered down through the mountains. Plenty of soft, clean water. The winds that come from the Atlantic, they bring the salty air, they bring the dry wind in summer. So the whiskey is reacting with the wood for almost every single day of the year. We have fantastic people who are mechanical and understand how machinery works, and ultimately a whiskey distillery is a factory, it's a plant. We need people with those kind of skills. And also it's home. I'm very excited to be going home. They say that life is a journey and all we really have to spend is time. And so it's really important to notice and to mark and celebrate the moments along those journeys.
Skellig Islands, also known as Planet Actu from Star Wars, are two small islands off mainland Ireland. This is where Luke Skywalker's home was filmed in Episode 7 and 8. Skellig Michael sits a little over 7 miles west of mainland Ireland. Founded around the 6th century, the place has been a refuge where people retreated to connect with the divine. Luke's home is based off the real Christian monastery that is found at the top of the island. "670 steps built into the rock lead up to the monastery. These are the same stairs Rey climbs up in The Force Awakens to meet Luke. The monastic site is built on a terraced shelf 600 feet above sea level. It's at the very top of these where the monks use dry stone construction methods to create different levels of terraces to establish the monastery. These walls also provided shelter from the winds and are what helped create the microclimate which facilitated the growth of their gardens, which allowed vegetables to grow at twice the speed of mainland sites. The name Skellig derives from Skellig, which means a steep rock. Around 1044 AD, the monastery on the island was dedicated to Saint Michael the Archangel. It contained 6 dry stone beehive huts. These huts were round on the outside and rectangular on the inside. They were built this way so not a drop of rain could ever enter between the stones. It is estimated that no more than 12 monks lived here at one time. A hermit also lived on the south peak. A carefully engineered system was also created for collecting and purifying the water. Despite the isolation of the location, it was sophisticated and showed how the monks managed to deal with a hostile environment. Stone crosses and slabs are also found, as well as a cemetery and a garden. A medieval church was built later. Their diet consisted of vegetables and fish, and the meat and eggs of birds nesting on the island were crucial for survival. The monks would descend the 670 steps early every morning and fish for breakfast, and the rest of the day consisted of praying in the church, studying, and working on their gardens. Puffins visit in late spring for a few months. It is at this time they breed and fatten their chicks with the available food found in the Atlantic Ocean. In fact, the porgs seen in episode 8 are based on the puffins that live on Skellig Michael. The director of episode 8, Ryan Johnson, stated that the inspiration for these came while on location scout at Skellig Michael. Skellig Michael was attacked by Vikings several times. In 823 AD, one of the monks was taken captive and carried off the island to be left to starve to death. The monastery remained occupied until around the 12th century. During this time, the climate around Skellig Michael became colder and more prone to storms. And during the change of the structure of the Irish church prompted the community to abandon the island and move to the church off the Kerry Peninsula. Skellig Michael became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996. During the summer season, 4 boat licenses are granted to bring tourists to the island, up to 12 people per boat a day. Everything is weather permitting since the islands get hit by massive storms, often preventing people from getting onto the island. Because of that, there were big restrictions while filming Star Wars Episode 8. In fact, they reconstructed a similar set to the one found at the top of Skellig Michael on the coast of Ireland's cliffs. This was done to help preserve the site. Little Skellig, the next island over, contains the second biggest gannet bird colony in the world. With almost 30,000 pairs of birds, Little Skellig is close to the public as a sanctuary for birds. The very nature of these islands provides safety where they can nest and rear their young, with the Atlantic Ocean providing rich feeding grounds whilst making access difficult for humans and keeping the islands free from predators. The extreme remoteness of Skellig Islands makes it one of the hardest places in the world to visit and allows it to be one of the most unique places in the world. A place at the edge of the map, a place lost in time, in a galaxy far, far away.